Welcome to Relate with Miss Lisa and Ruben. Welcome to our second season with Miss Lisa and Ruben. Alrighty then, let's get into it with Season 2, Episode 5, calling it Dating Etiquette, Part Number 1.
Dating 101, Revisited. This is just a flashback to the chivalry episode that we did, which we were discussing the viral video where the guy is asking the young lady if she wanted him to open the car door.
You still talking about that?
Only because we're sitting at McCormick.
You're not supposed to legally mention the name.
We're sitting at a fine restaurant, and we noticed this couple at the front door. And Ruben noticed that she was telling the guy to open the door for her to walk in, and he's just standing there looking confused, I guess. So she had to ask him again to open the door for her.
He was more than confused.
So apparently not everyone knows or understands what chivalry entails. So why don't you enlighten them, Ruben?
I got to enlighten them. You saw it.
Because you are the man, so enlighten.
And you're the woman.
Man.
You're the woman. All I saw was, first, a young couple. She was looking through the door, peeking through the door, like, are they open? That was my first clue is to, okay, they've never been here before. Then when she decided, okay, they're open, but I liked what she did. She stood back and looked at him, and she grabbed the door handle, then she took her hand off of it. And she stood back and looked at him, and he looking like he's so far. And she looked at him, and he rubbing his hands because he's nervous, in nervousness. He's rubbing his hands, looking at her like she's a sandwich. And he was looking at her like that. I watched the whole show like you did. I just got a different interpretation of it. And she looked at him, then she nudged him. He looked at her like, what? And they're
still standing in front of the door.
They're still standing in front of the door. And she gestures towards the door handle. And he looked, and then you see him, his mouth running like, and I'm sure he probably was saying, well, I didn't know I need to open the door for you. I was wondering why you ain't open the door. So,
here we are, sir.
thank you so much.
And I do have your dessert coming out pretty soon, okay, ma'am?
So finally, he reaches like he's catching a pass, a football pass. He lunges towards the handle while his mouth is running. She's looking at him like, boy, I'm not worried about what you're saying. Just open this door. He swings the door open. It was nothing gingerly about it. He wasn't gentle with it. He didn't grab the lower part of her back to guide her in. He didn't stop to make sure the swinging door opening that door fast wasn't going to hit her. He wasn't taking all the necessary precautions to protect the queen like that. When you're protecting the queen, you're on point all the time. Your thought is on point all the time. You got to be ready to jump in front of a car. You got to be ready to catch a swinging door. You got to be ready to pick up anything that she dropped. Is what I talked about before. It has to be second nature because it's too hard to just be trying to remember that stuff up front. You do it long enough, you practice it long enough where it's second nature. And she's appreciating it because it helps you to make it second nature. Where it's a passing thought. It's not even a thought. It's an action. Just like if someone raises their hand to hit you, you're going to automatically raise your arm in defense. Keep from getting hit. That's what chivalry is. It's an automatic reaction. Your lady and you walking, there's a door in front of you. The only hand should go up to grab that door is his. Now, if she puts her hand up to grab the door, I'm going to let her know, hey, I'm right here. But if she don't hear me and she just hell bent on just walking through the door, I'm going to let her just open the door. And it becomes commonplace after that. That's when relationships fall into that rabbit hole of commonplace. And you just accept the poor treatment. Yeah, y'all love each other. Yeah, y'all been together a long time, but that's no excuse for the things he was willing to do when he took you out on your first date. You should still be willing to do those things today.
I agree with that. So that's why we are endeavoring to keep it excitement throughout the months, years, decades of our relationship. So remember that.
I don't have to remember it's second nature. I just told you. You know, and what's this decades talk?
So let's talk about proper dress when you go to a fine dining restaurant. What are your thoughts on that?
Put some clothes on.
So you're going to a five-star restaurant. Is it appropriate to show up in your torn jeans? And this is for either one, the man or the woman.
Well, there's a lot there. You know, it's like you don't need a college degree to know certain environments require certain things. Certain environments require certain things. Not just for you, but for all of us. It's like the same rule of thumb. We're not supposed to break the law because the law applies to all of us. When you go to a five-star restaurant, any place that claims to be fine dining, or any fine establishment, don't have to be a restaurant. Open up and read the reviews. Read about the place before you take her. I'm talking to the men. Inform yourself. Not nobody else's word, but you heard somebody say. Call the place yourself. Tell them what you have planned. I'm planning to bring my lady there for a decent evening. I'm still trying to impress her. What do y'all have for me to help me with that? And they know, they get that all the time. They'll tell you what to do. But what they won't tell you is what kind of clothes to wear. They may tell you, well, we have a dress code, and expect that you know what that means. Dress code don't mean just put clothes on. Dress code means business casual, usually.
Here we are, ma'am.
Join us again for another exciting opinionated episode of Relate with Miss Lisa and Ruben.